Impeachment is very serious. You think about what it means to put the country through that. Well, unless, of course, it's 2019 and 2021, then you just go ahead and you do it because you couldn't win at the ballot box. You couldn't win with illegal, unconstitutional investigations. So you take the next step. You invent a crime and impeach the president on it. Here's Nancy Pelosi.
Getting back to this, impeachment is deadly serious. This is a remedy that our founders put in the Constitution for a rogue official. They could foresee we would have a rogue president of the United States. They couldn't foresee that we'd have a rogue president and a rogue Senate, rogue Congress. But nonetheless, for them to use this in the frivolous way that they are is really a disservice to our country, to our Constitution. They have they've had months, almost this whole year, the whole time, 9 months, going on 9 months of investigations. The rest, they've come up with nothing. When we engaged in impeaching the president because we had no choice, we were accusing him of high crimes and misdemeanors, which were evident, and even Republican senators voted for in terms of Ukraine and in terms of the assault on the Capitol. But this is almost silly, except that it's so serious.
Nancy Pelosi either doesn't believe a word she's saying or she's kind of lost a step, or maybe it's a little bit of both. What was this evidence of a crime in the first Trump impeachment? The telephone call? We saw the transcript. My first guest represents Pennsylvania's 10th Congressional District and is the chairman of the Freedom Caucus. Representative Scott Perry, thanks so much for joining us.
Well, great to be with you, Andrew. And, you know, they're great at projection. What they say you're doing is what they're doing. Of course, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. So even though they've done it and had no evidence, they're going to claim that you're doing it and have no evidence, even though you have a mountain of evidence. That's how it works.
I don't know what this evidence is she's talking about. I do know that a holdover from the Obama National Security Council went running into the arms of the staff of Representative Adam Schiff, who didn't even hear the call to begin with. It was apparently portions of it leaked to him. In this case, we have a first family whose business is being the first family or the second family or the senator's family or whatever it is. And millions of dollars are flowing to this family for the sole purpose of affecting foreign policy. Not a single Democrat could tell me what it is that Hunter Biden does.
Yeah, well, here's what he does. He trades on influence in Washington, D.C., vis-a-vis his father, whether a senator, a vice president, and now president. And the proof is that there are $20 million that came from foreign interest to the Biden family, at least 9 of them, for which we don't know what product or service was provided. But we do know that they created 20 shell companies to make sure that nobody could follow the money. We also know that an FBI informant said that not only did Joe Biden potentially take the money as a bribe, but actually extorted a person in Ukraine for that money, and that money is alleged to be $5 million, $5 million to Joe and $5 million to Hunter. So those are pretty strong allegations. And if we don't agree or believe in the FBI informant, why is the FBI informant still working for the FBI? And why hasn't the FBI? The other part of this whole story is where are the authorities? Congress wouldn't know about this. American people wouldn't know about any of this if the Republicans hadn't won the majority in Congress. Where's the FBI been? Where's the Department of Justice been with their own informant, with this own information on the 175 suspicious activity reports that went to the Treasury? They didn't go to the Treasury because Congress asked about them. They went to the Treasury because banks are required to report on suspicious activity. The only reason we know about it is because we asked about them. What have they done with this information? What have they done with this evidence?
What do you make of this crazy revelation that Hunter Biden filed a lawsuit against the IRS? He's not even suing the 2 whistleblowers. He's suing the whole of the IRS. That means Hunter Biden's suing the Biden administration.
Well, it is indeed. And maybe he was confused I'm not sure why he might be confused. I'm not sure if he's impaired at the time, but maybe he meant to send a thank you note for not prosecuting him for making $20 million and paying no taxes on it. Maybe he should also send a thank you note to the FBI and the IRS for letting the statute of limitations run and not prosecuting him for multiple crimes that were essentially admitted to in the laptop he left behind. So I'm not sure if he's just confused about what he should have sent or if this is really his intention here.
What do you make? I had your colleague, Representative Jim Jordan, on my radio program earlier, which you were on last week. Timothy Thibault, the FBI agent, is now another whistleblower who says that his investigation was shut down by the FBI and the DOJ, that he was talking to a confidential human source on Hunter Biden's foreign money, and they said, no, you can't talk to this guy anymore.
Again, it goes to the other side of the story that is beyond the Bidens, but is the corruption that appears to be, unfortunately, very pervasive in some of the agencies and the institutions that are most revered in the United States of America, to include the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the IRS. And it appears to be all based on the Biden family name, such to the point that they can commit whatever crime that they choose to, and nothing will be done. America is dependent upon a judicial system that is blind to your name, your station in life, who you know, just whether you've committed the crime or not. And so these allegations are very serious, not only to the Bidens, but also to these institutions. But here again, how can we count on them to investigate themselves?
Yeah, we're going to be doing this in my argument. The only thing the Democrats are talking about now is Lauren Boebert, and I'm not going to defend her behavior, whatever. But on the level of importance, okay, a missing F-35 jet, the border's wide open, gas prices just hit $6 a gallon in Los Angeles, inflation is still high, and Congress has to get to the bottom of how the Bidens make all this money. I'm sorry, a member of Congress going out to the theater is not something I'm going to spend all of my time on. It just proves to us that the Democrats and the media are very unserious people. I'll give you the last word.
Well, let me tell you what they're serious about. The left is serious about destroying their opponents, and they use every single tool in their war chest, to include the media, which is not independent, but especially to include the instruments of federal power. And that is ominous for people. And so we absolutely have to rein this thing in. We can't rein in the media because that's independent, but we can rein in the federal government, and we absolutely need to. And the way to do it is to cut off their spending.
The truth is, if Congress can show evidence that policy was affected by the actions of Hunter Biden through his father, that's impeachable no matter what Nancy Pelosi says.